There's another jacket to be won this week in South Carolina.
Welcome to PGA Tour Today, presented by MasterCard.
We're coming off a dramatic week at the Masters with Bubba Watson claiming the green jacket and now making his rounds to talk shows around the country. But while Bubba talks about his major championship, there's an impressive roster of players gearing up for the 44th RBC Heritage, where one more player will don a new piece of clothing, the tartan jacket. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Amanda Balionis. There are 18 in the top 30 in the FedEx Cup standings teeing it up this week. 7 champions from this season and 3 players that are ranked inside the top 15 in the World Golf Rankings. The RBC Heritage is the perfect follow-up to the Masters. World number 1 Luke Donald had a disappointing finish at the first major of the year, ending up in a tie for 32nd. However, if the 2012 Transitions champ is going to bounce back, this is the ideal place to do it, as he's finished inside the top 3 his last 3 starts at Harbour Town Golf Links and has recorded 11 consecutive rounds under par in Hilton Head, dating all the way back to 2009. Donald will be teeing it up with defending champion Brandt Snedeker, who claimed this win in a playoff against Donald last season, and rounding out the group will be Kyle Stanley, who Sneds also defeated in a playoff earlier this season at Torrey Pines. They'll kick off their week at 8:20 a.m. Eastern. In the 2012 Golf World Survey, players voted the famed Pete Dye course as their favorite non-major course on the PGA Tour, so it's really no surprise that the roster this week is full of impressive names like Ernie Els, 2010 champion Jim Furyk, and reigning FedEx Cup champion Bill Haas. And there is one particular group that you will probably be able to spot from a mile away. John Daly with his eccentric pants will be teeing it up with the normally fluorescently colored Ricky Fowler, and rounding out the group will be Ricky Barnes. Remember, Barnes was in contention to win here in 2011, but ended up finishing in a tie for 4th. They'll be teeing it up at 1:20 p.m. Eastern. For more on what we can look forward to in Hilton Head, South Carolina, let's throw it out to our guys from SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio.
Amanda, one of the beauties of the Harbour Town Golf Links is that in the 40-some years since Pete Dye designed it, it has hardly ever changed, except for maybe the big old moss-draped oaks getting a little bigger and mossier draped. Things have changed a little bit this year. 130 yards has been added to the golf course, 39 of them here at the par 4 16th, where a new tee across Plantation Road has been added, a tee box that will bring maybe 1, maybe 2 more clubs in play for the guys playing this hole. It goes from an under 400-yard par 4 into a bit over 400-yard par 4, brings the chance of getting into those big old trees a little bit more this year, might send the scores here at 16 just a little bit higher. Bill Rosinski, you've got some ideas on what we might look for in the opening round as well.
Thanks, Bob. You've talked about changes on the golf course, but I think the X factor this week is going to be the wind. Now, for the Pro-Am on Wednesday, it blew some 20 miles an hour. Won't be that gusty once the tournament gets underway and runs through Sunday, but the winds will be up about 10 to 15 miles an hour. But here's the thing. On Thursday, they'll blow out of the northeast. By Sunday, out of the southeast. So that'll make things interesting, especially on the finishing holes, the 17th to par 3, and then the 18th along the water at Calabogie Sound. We've got all the action for you beginning at noon Eastern time on Thursday. Live play-by-play on SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio. Amanda, back to you.
Thanks, guys. Remember, live Round 1 action can be found on Golf Channel from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, PGAtour.com will have your live leaderboard, along with the Tour Report, which has all of your breaking news and highlights.
PGA Tour Today is presented by MasterCard, which invites you to play like a PGA Tour player at select TPC courses. MasterCard is a proud sponsor of the PGA Tour.